young, I never had to learn to fight or how to use a gun. When I was little, I never had to worry about where my food was coming from. When I was young, I never had to run. When did we forget the children of war? When did we forget what they're fighting for? As I grew up, I never had to read a list to find my family. As I grew older, I never had to worry about where to find a place to sleep. As I grew up, I never had to run. When did we forget the children of war? When did we forget what they're fighting for? Or choose to ignore? When did we forget what they're dying for? When did we forget the children of war? When did we forget what they're fighting for? When did we forget the children of war? When did we forget what they're fighting for? They're fighting for. Did we forget or choose to ignore? When did we forget what they're dying for? They're dying for.
Yeah, this is Dom and Greg and Levi McGrath in the studio as well. So he's that was his song. What was that called, Levi?
Children of War.
Children of War, of course. Yeah, I did listen to that on the computer, and he's got his own website, and you can listen to all his songs for free. And but he's also got a CD for sale called Children of War, and another one that's called
Move.
My
that's first
right.
album, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Levi.
No, that's all right.
That's right.
Don't expect you to know all my back catalogue.
Yeah, much. It's 9:10, and this is the Bat Cave, and Levi's going to tell us a bit about that song, the Children of War song. So
this song was written about a trip I took in 2009 over to Africa. I travelled to Uganda, and I'd been once to Uganda back in 2006 over to 2007 with my wife Megan, And it really had got under our skin from that first trip. We went to work with orphans in a little community called Ndeje, just out of Kampala in Uganda. And so we went back this time wanting to go a bit deeper, wanting to find out a little more about Uganda. And I got a volunteer position with my wife in World Vision in the north of Uganda in a little town called Gulu. And right up the north of Uganda, there's been a war going on for the last 24 years between a rebel group known as the LRA and the government of Uganda. And this rebel group has abducted over 30,000 children to become child soldiers in this army. And I was so absolutely just disgusted and incensed by what was going on there that we wanted to find out a way that we could help. And so we got involved working at World Vision's Children of War Rehabilitation Centre. And at that centre, we were able to work with kids who had just come back from war, who were needing lots of counselling, lots of love, and just a normal life again.
Awesome.
So we're involved in playing as simple things as soccer with these kids, basketball, playing games of cards, helping to feed them and clothe them, and just showing these kids that there was hope after the war that they'd seen on the front lines of battle. So the song was really written about a friend that I made there called Paul. And Paul had been through the absolute worst that I could imagine a young person going through. When he was 12 years of age, he was abducted by this rebel army in the middle of the night, dragged away from his home, given a gun, taught to fight by this rebel group, and sent to the front lines of battle. And a couple of years later, he was hit with an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade, that blew off half of his right leg. And so he has to walk around now with a walking stick, with a crutch, everywhere he goes. And I think the thing that hit me the most was he was just the same age as me. I'm 25, he's the same age, and he's disabled for the rest of his life. And I know that you yourself work with people in disability, and you know what that's like. It really puts a whole new spin on someone's life and makes it very difficult. And particularly being in Uganda, there's not a lot of access to surgical procedures that can really help Paul out. So he's really had to struggle.
Yeah, I guess in Uganda there's not many opportunities for work as well.
No, there's not unless you got a master's degree in something. There's not a lot of jobs available. And Paul did his basic high school education, and that was really it for him.
Yeah.
But affording to be able to go to university is an absolute luxury in Uganda. It's not something that everybody can do.
Yeah.
These kids that World Vision are looking after, what sort of issues do they have when they come into the centre? Is it a whole town or just a small building, or what?
Gulu itself is a town of about 100,000 people.
Yep.
But it's a very, very messy kind of town. It's just dust roads and big market kind of in the centre of this town. And on the outskirts is this World Vision Rehabilitation Centre, and they have anywhere from up to 10 kids up to 1,000 kids, depending how busy the centre is at that time. There were about 8 to 12 kids for the 5 months that my wife and I spent in Uganda, and it's kind of like this big, I guess, compound where you have lots of kids coming in. They have different services available to the kids where they can go and get counselling, go and get medical help from people. I ran some music classes for the kids, just playing music and trying to bring some joy into their lives at the centre. But a lot of the kids come back with some serious physical scars and some really serious mental scars, and a lot of traumatisation that these kids go through, really struggling to cope with what they've seen. Often girls have been raped. Often young boys have been forced to kill either a family member or a friend as part of their initiation into becoming a soldier in this army.